You leave. No slammed door, no dramatic speech, just quiet, calm distance. And somehow that silence does more damage than anything you could have shouted. Why does walking away hit harder than staying and fighting ever could? Think about the last time someone simply stopped chasing you. Not out of spite, not to punish you, they just stopped. No more calls, no more effort, no more waiting by the door of your attention. And something in you reacted before you even understood why. That reaction has nothing to do with love and everything to do with ego. The Stoics understood this dynamic 2,000 years before modern psychology gave it a name. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most people assume walking away hurts because of loss, but loss is rarely the real wound. The real wound is what the silence implies. It says, I am no longer available to be affected by you, and nothing threatens a fragile ego faster than discovering it no longer has power over someone. Here is the pattern almost no one notices while they're living inside it. As long as you're chasing, arguing, explaining yourself, or trying to be understood, you are still handing the other person proof that they matter to you. Every reaction is a form of tribute. Anger is tribute. Pleading is tribute. Even resentment is tribute because it still centers them. Walking away removes the tribute entirely, and people do not know how to exist without it. Epictetus, who spent years enslaved before becoming one of Rome's most respected teachers, taught that some things are within our control and some things are not. Your peace is within your control. Someone else's ego is not. When you walk away calmly, you're not trying to hurt them. You are simply reclaiming what was always yours, your attention, your energy, your time. But to an ego built on being chased, that withdrawal feels like a verdict. This is where the paradox lives. The people who walk away quietly, without cruelty, without a performance of anger, are almost never trying to punish anyone. They've simply run out of tribute to give. And that absence, more than any accusation, is what forces the other person to confront themselves. There is no one left to blame in the moment, no argument to win, just silence, and the uncomfortable question of what that silence means. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius that we are more often frightened than hurt, and that we suffer more from imagination than from reality. When someone leaves calmly, the mind left behind fills the silence with worst-case stories. Did I do something unforgivable? Have I lost something I can't get back? The ego cannot tolerate not knowing, and it especially cannot tolerate being the one who no longer holds the power to summon a reaction. This is not a technique to manipulate someone into missing you. That would just be tribute in disguise, another performance aimed at their reaction instead of your own peace. The Stoic version of walking away has no audience in mind at all. It is not staged. It is not timed for maximum effect. It is simply what happens when a person finally stops needing someone else's behavior to validate their own worth. Marcus Aurelius never controlled how his enemies or his critics saw him. He only controlled whether he stayed disciplined, honest, and calm, regardless of their reaction. That discipline, more than any dramatic exit, is what unsettles people most. Not because it was designed to, because true indifference is the one thing an ego can never talk its way around. So, if you ever find yourself walking away and the silence afterward feels heavier than any argument you've ever had, understand what actually happened. You didn't destroy anything. You simply stopped feeding something that was never yours to carry. And in that absence, the only thing left standing is the truth. Not your anger, not their excuses, just the quiet, undeniable fact that you no longer need them to prove you were right.